Hello, Republic of Gamers, and welcome to ROG Pulse, your weekly podcast where we dive into all things technology and gaming. I'm your host, Solid Jake, and this week we've got Whitson and Marcel once again. Whitson, what is new?
Oh, just going through one of those minor PC upgrades where everything goes to heck in a handbasket. And I'm actually very glad that you can't see the total mess behind me on the floor.
What are you swapping out? What's new?
Not that much. I did a GPU swap, which went pretty swimmingly, and I was swapping in some fans because I had some really old fans, but all the fans I've ordered have been defective or delayed in shipping or all this nonsense. So everything is just like strewn about. The case is open, cables everywhere, and I'm just waiting for some things to get here before I can close it up and clean my office. But you guys can't see it, so it's okay.
I play that game of just tinkering and removing hardware way too often to the point where I'm in a constant state of that. It's
Oh no. I am very excited though. I upgraded from a 2060 Super to a 2080 Super.
Okay.
It's a little upgrade, but nice.
See guys,
2080 Super is surprisingly one of the best bang for your bucks you can get right now.
Whitson works for ASUS, and even then, that's where 30 series availability is just that hard.
We want it to go to the gamers.
Yeah, well,
I don't need it much as
I don't.
other
I want
gamers do.
all the GPUs for me.
You can, yeah.
Okay.
You need them.
Yeah. Yes. Marcel, what's good? What's new with you? Any new hardware?
Hey guys, new hardware? Yes, I do. Imagine who is in the house.
The one and only ROG Phone 5S.
The one and only.
Our main topic for today. We're gonna save that that unveiling for a little bit from now. What else is new? Anything new and exciting on your end?
I don't know if you guys are really interested on these kind of things, but I'm planning. You know the arcade one up?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm planning to put a Raspberry Pi on that and transform in a big arcade device.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
I love those kinds of projects.
Just the planning itself, it's like huge though. You have to plan everything. You have to plan what kind of buttons you're gonna use. The buttons you have may not fit, and then we want to upgrade the stick. If you want like a faceplate with backlight or not, so you start.
It is a crazy rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Are you using CRT?
This one is not CRT. It is a LCD panel, but it's the one that is being used by the arcade one up. I like that one. It's not bad, but I want to upgrade the sound. So I need new speakers, and they use these old car style speakers.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You want to have the same feeling.
It feels retro, yeah. So I'm actually really curious because, like, I'd imagine without the CRT, it's not going to feel as authentic because obviously CRTs have the curved front of the display. There's a lot of differences. Obviously, they're very bulky. There's a lot of reasons to want to avoid using a CRT because they're heavy as hell, but
hard to find. Like very difficult to repair and things like that. There's a fine line between authentic and like improved experience. And when it comes, obviously, if you're playing like light gun games, you got to have a CRT. There are light guns that work with LCDs now, but yeah, if I were building one myself, I'd probably go with an LCD just to avoid the hassle. I don't know enough about CRTs to like want to take on that maintenance job.
Well, the main problem is CRTs. They take a long time to get old, but once they start to fade it, it's no way back. Yeah. So to find one original one or something that can fit there and you believe is going to have a good result in terms of, brightness and contrast, it's kind of disappointing right now to find those.
So you want to hear something really disappointing? My parents in their little like breakfast nook that probably no one even eats in anymore. They've replaced all the TVs in the house over the past, 10, 20 years with LCDs. They still have an old CRT in that breakfast nook that does not get used at all. I doubt it's even been turned on in at least 5 years, if not 10. And it is not just any CRT. It's like the Sony Trinitron that all of the retro gamers are looking for. And it's just sitting there in the kitchen. And I'm like, guys, sell it on Craigslist. Give it to a retro gamer in need.
So I used to be a competitive Super Smash Brothers player. And one of the things as the game was starting to fade, and Melee was kind of the game that I was still part of. Everything was transitioning to LCDs, and it was bad. There was a lot of lag. If you tried to play in GameCube or Wii, you were talking about huge input delay. And in 2014, So not that long ago, we did an event in LA, or actually Anaheim, California, where we had to like reach out. This was Major League Gaming, so we had to like reach out to the community because we can't get CRTs. But luckily, the LA community legitimately like has a group that they have preserved a bunch of Trinitrons, and they provided like 60 CRTs to our event. But you can imagine how much labor is involved and moving that many TVs, and LCDs are, you can just throw a bunch of them on a pallet and that's your whole event right there.
Correct.
Yeah.
But those Trinitrons are the 34 inches.
They came in a few sizes, but I think we used 34 for this event. That sounds right.
Yeah, that's a juggernaut. It's super heavy though.
Yeah, it is. I learned because I had a CRT in college for years, and this was like after CRTs were kind of on their way out anyway. And I learned after moving between dorm rooms and apartments that the correct way to carry them is like screen down, which is more dangerous if you drop it, I suppose. But then the weight is distributed evenly. It took me quite a few years to figure that out.
So in the earlier years of playing Smash, the way events worked is you got a discount for attending if you brought an actual GameCube. You got a bigger discount if you brought a CRT as well, because you had to provide your own setups for these tournaments. So I have much experience carrying those CRTs around. And it's hilarious because everyone always made fun of the GameCube for having a handle. I'm like that 0.0% that actually utilized that handle on the regular, because my GameCube, that thing traveled with me. And many years of competition. A lot of fun memories with CRT TVs, but I really can't blame you for not going that route, Marcel, because I don't miss them. And yeah, but let's talk a little bit.
Desktop PCs had handles. Remember when desktop cases, they would make them with handles?
The Nintendo GameCube, right?
What are you talking about?
That's
desktop
what he was
PCs.
talking about. No, when PCs also had handles.
The Helios has straps on the top for carrying.
Oh, does it?
The Helios has like
I might not have noticed.
Yeah. It's done a little bit more elegantly. It doesn't look as like a handle. They're like these straps that are threaded through the case, but they function as a handle, and I utilize them when I move it around. So
nice.
All right, Whitson, I know you're excited about this game. It's one of the first games you've bought early on. Deathloop dropped this week, and it's getting some
not just early on.
Okay.
This is the first game I bought on launch day since Mass Effect 3, I'm pretty sure. And I'm not even sure that I bought Mass Effect 3 on launch day or not. I almost never do. I wait for sales. But I loved Dishonored. When I didn't play it when it came out, I played it years later, and I was like, oh man, this is actually amazing. And so when I saw when they first revealed Deathloop, I was like, this is going to be good. I'm going to get this one maybe when it's $30 instead of like $10. And then when it came out, everyone was like, oh, we got to buy this game if we want Arcane to keep making games like this. We got to support developers like early on. You can't wait for it to go on sale. And I was like, oh, maybe I should get it. And then when ROG came out with their exclusive discount for the game on Games Planet, guys, it just appeared in chat. Wow, that was actually kind of creepy how quickly that happened. Go to Games Planet. You never get a discount like this on a game on launch day. Go to Games Planet. You can get 23% off Deathloop. That was what finally sold it for me. So I bought it. And it's really good so far. If you guys have, first of all, if you haven't played Dishonored, go play it. But man, what a cool concept for a game. It's like part Metroidvania, part roguelike, part Dark Souls.
Did you say Metroidvania? Is that like a term I've never heard? Like Castlevania, Metroidvania? Is that a thing?
Yes, actually, there was a whole debate a few years ago about whether we should use the term Metroidvania because people
never heard it.
Don't know what it is. Like aren't in the game's ecosystem, won't understand it. It's it basically is the idea of like kind of the old Metroid games or the newer Castlevania games like Symphony of the Night, which are kind of these open-ended platformers where you do like a lot of backtracking. You get new power-ups, then you can kind of explore back and forth. Deathloop is kind of like that in a way, much like Crisis or something. It's just like all takes place on this one island,
right?
And as you go through these kind of almost roguelike-esque time loops where you go through and you die and you start the day over again, Groundhog Day style, you gain more and more information about solving the mystery you're trying to solve. And as you gain more power-ups and more information, you can start to visit new places or backtrack to certain spots to kind of continue your investigation. all the while someone else on the island or everyone else on the island is trying to kill you. It is awesome. I'm not as far into it as you are. You've been streaming it a bit this week. I'm not quite as far into it yet. It's still, I think, a little bit linear where I am, but I have high hopes about where it goes. And the reviews, this was the other thing that convinced me. The reviews are off the charts good. Yeah. For the most part. So it's getting 10 out of 10s a lot of places, and so that was what convinced me to pull the trigger early.
So before we continue, do my weekly I guess update for everyone on YouTube. The giveaways are currently only on Twitch, so you have to go to twitch.tv/ASUS ROG if you want to participate in the giveaway. In 6 minutes, we will have a keyword on the screen that you'll type in to enter yourself into the giveaway for a chance to win a $20 voucher to gamesplanet.com. And then for all the keywords, the bot, I thought it would be working this week. It doesn't look like it is. So the bot, only, those keywords, like exclamation mark keyboard, those commands only work on the Twitch side. But baby steps. We're getting there. All right. Deathloop, yeah, just to briefly talk about that from my perspective. I'm really enjoying it. It's gorgeous. I really like the art style. I'm still in the point where I'm with you, where I feel like it is fairly linear in terms of like what it is. Right, like the number of guns I've seen is like 4. I've seen like 4 different kinds of guns, and it's like, meh. You know, I'm hoping to see cool power-ups, right? I don't know if you have any spells yet. Like I don't. I know about them. Yeah. Like I know a little bit about what's coming just because I've read reviews. Not a ton of spoilers or guides or anything, but I know it's coming, which is why I think that it's going to open up. Right. So like, you know, the fact that double jump is an upgrade that you have to choose that you want to use. The fact that
really excited about that.
Yeah, you can. I have like a teleport ability. And I don't know what the other abilities are going to be because I only have the one right now, but it'll be interesting to see how customizable your playstyle is, because as you mentioned, that's what I really like about roguelikes. Like I've been grinding Hades relentlessly recently, and what's really appealing is I can pick my weapon. So say I'm going to use the gun, but then I can choose all these different playstyles with that gun each and every run, and it's always going to feel fresh and fun. And
I think if Dishonored is any indication, Deathloop will have a fair amount of that.
Okay.
As you start going, I think with Dishonored, it might happen a little bit quicker. I'm not sure, but yeah, Dishonored was very much like that. A lot of you get all these cool different powers, and there are a lot of different ways to approach any given situation. And one man's playthrough is going to be completely different from the next man or woman's playthrough. No Clip. This is probably going to be something I mentioned on like every other Pulse episode. If you guys have ever seen No Clip on YouTube, there's a fantastic YouTube channel that does documentaries on the development of different video games. They have a documentary on the making of Dishonored, and it blew my mind because I watched that and I was like, oh, I've barely scratched the surface of this game. There is so much in this game that I had no idea was there. I've beaten it, but there are so many different kind of like ways to go about everything that, yeah, you can play through it twice and barely scratch the surface. Incredible YouTube channel if you guys want to go check it out after you watch this show.
I'll have to check it out. Marcel, you haven't checked out Deathloop, I assume?
I'm sorry, can you repeat? I didn't get it.
The game Deathloop. Have you had a chance to pick it up?
I never tried this one so far. Actually, from last week to this week, I spent the weekend helping my boy to finish all the details on Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's struggling with the Champion's Ballad, which is one of the hardest ones to be done from the DLC. So I'm helping him about it. And yesterday was a big day. Yesterday, I also broadcast rocket launches, right? And yesterday was inspiration for the launch from SpaceX with 4 civilians to the space. So I spent the past 3 days, I would say almost 4 days, studying the whole mission and how to broadcast the whole mission, everything that's going to happen.
Dang. That is so. Just plug that channel. Where do you do that content?
I do my content. This content is done in my channel in Portuguese, the Marcel campus, as it is. Just search for it. But it was being Brazilian Portuguese. I bet you can have a better experience on Everyday Astronaut with Team Dot, because it's gonna be in English. You're gonna understand everything.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of their official launches. It's cool.
That one was amazing and was very touching for me, because this one they did, like, it's not only a billionaire going to space.
Right. These were
there is a billionaire.
Yeah.
But there is one billionaire, the guy who's the sponsor, everything. He could take like his friends, Like if I'm a billionaire and they say, hey, Whitson, Jake, let's go to space, you're gonna be super happy. We're gonna enjoy a lot. But instead of that, this guy, what he did is pretty remarkable. He decided to take strangers with him, and he decided the rules to have those strangers in the same capsule for 3 days orbiting around the Earth. And he made a huge campaign for donating money into St. Jude's Hospital to take care of kids with cancer, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They raised more than $200 million for cancer research for kids. It's incredible. And each seat, there are 4 seats. He's the captain, the pilot, and then there's another 3 seats. Each seat has a reason to be there. One of them it's Hope, which to me is the most important one. They took formerly ill girl with cancer years ago, 10 years ago, that was in treatment inside the St. Jude's Hospital, and overcome all the problems, overcome the cancer she got on the bone,
and they send her to space.
And then she become one of the workers, one of the helpers inside the same hospital she was treated.
Oh wow!
So then they select her to go to space.
That's a cool story.
Is the youngest American woman in space. Also, is the first person who had cancer and overcome that shit on space, and also she got a prosthetic on the leg. So it's the first person with a prosthetic on the leg on space. Yeah. So it's a lot of firsts with this girl. Yeah.
Very cool.
It was amazing.
That's a cool story.
They are in the space right now while we're talking.
So the keyword on stream right now is delays. I'm going to start the giveaway on the Twitch side. You'll see the message in chat. I forget that I have to actually physically start it now. So give me 1 second.
It says tacos.
Oh, it says tacos? Oh no. It's actually lagging on my end.
It's always tacos.
We're going to restart it. It's not going to be tacos. You're going to wait for this.
Hold on, guys.
It's got to be delayed. It is like totally frozen.
Delay your entry into the giveaway.
Okay. So closing entries. We're canceling the tacos. Tacos are fake. We already had our tacos.
Tacos aren't real.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's pretty savage to say that tacos aren't real.
I'm kidding. I live in San Diego.
Yeah, you're right.
I know all about
Tacos
tacos, guys.
All right. Did it work now? Did it say delays?
I don't know. I haven't seen it come through yet.
Okay.
There it is. Okay. Use delays to enter the raffle. Yeah, so what happened to Omni?
It's does it say it's Streamlabs right now?
Yeah, it does.
It's inconsistent. It should fix itself. It's just something. I've seen it do this before. It should fix itself.
Sometimes.
Yeah, the imperfections of adopting newer technology. I mean, it's the joys. The joys. Pretty soon we're gonna dive into newer technology, being the ROG Phone 5S, as you can see down there. But before we get to that, we need to talk about some delays. Dreaded delays. Battlefield 2042, a game that was supposed to drop October 22nd was the initial date, I think, has been postponed till November. So it's not a huge delay.
It's a pretty small delay.
It's like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Ish.
I'm hoping whatever they're working on, 5 weeks is enough.
I had some rumors that they are working also in a version for mobile gaming.
Some what?
Well, that makes sense to make a mobile version because we have Call of Duty mobile is huge, right? But why would that delay the main game, right? They should be
hard to say, but you can imagine they can do some kind of combined launch maybe.
True. Maybe they want to have the impact of being it all, launching at once, the greater
Smarties in the chat says any delay is small now after Cyberpunk. Fair point. And honestly, that game should have been delayed longer. So
yeah.
Zelda delay way more.
Yeah, guys. I mean, look, we could all win this game by just saying Duke Nukem Forever. Okay, like
no,
let's not play this game.
Half-Life 3.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
Eternal delays. They're never going to end. Although I'd like to talk about Half-Life on a podcast in the future. Maybe I'll replay Alex on stream soon, and we'll dive into Half-Life because that's a really fun topic as it's no longer as hopeless as it once was. But I'll leave it at that. You type delays in all cap in Twitch chat to enter the giveaway.
I accidentally typed the word delays in chat. So if I win, cancel it. Re-roll it.
Okay, yeah.
I was trying to tell someone what word to type and didn't realize that, like, oh, I probably should have put another word in the chat because now I've entered in the giveaway.
Yeah, you are.
Smarties, I do not believe you can use the voucher on the UK Games Planet site, but even if you're in the UK, you can buy a game on the US Games Planet site as long as that game says that it activates in your region. So it shouldn't be a problem, except for there are certain games that are like region locked on Games Planet, but most it'll have a big tag. If you go to the US Games site and you're in the UK, it'll say activates in your region or does not activate.
Yeah, so usually you're just getting a Steam key, which is global. But so typically it is fairly usable in all regions.
So Dying Light 2 was also delayed.
Yeah, that sucks. That's a game that I feel like keeps getting delayed, and they've now pushed it back all the way to February, a much larger delay. It really seemed like they were trying to hit that Halloween timeline, which would have been nice. But if I gotta respect. I always respect delays. If you think your game's not ready, you want more time,
the delay.
Do it. Delay it.
Please take more time.
Yep.
What I'm really excited about, though, are all these, and this is, I feel dirty saying this as a PC gamer, but all these PS5 games that were announced last week. Like right after we had Pulse, they like showed off all of these games.
So exactly a week ago, last Thursday, we were like prepping for the show. We're like, man, there's not a whole lot of gaming news this week. It feels like there's not a lot to talk about. Like that's like legitimately what we said. So we wrap up the stream. And I look at my phone and I look at the news and I'm like, holy crap, what is going on? And it's like, oh, there's a PS5 showcase. So I went upstairs pretty much immediately and put on the stream, and I just watched the stream start to finish without any expectation of what's coming out in this content. And I was like, my wife and I recently played through God of War last fall. We played through God of War on the PS4 version, but on our PS5 when we got it. And we just completed Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Those are the only games I've played on a console in a decade, except for Breath of the Wild. I played Breath of the Wild.
Same. Those were like the games that I basically got a PS4 for.
Yeah. And
at the very end of the PS4's life cycle.
But like, I'm looking at the PS5 games that are out now, and I really don't have a lot of interest in anything, to be honest. But this video, that stream, they showed us a lot of goods. Which one are you most excited for, Marcel or Whitson? We'll go with you first.
This is going to be weird. I'm excited for them all. I'm really excited for Spider-Man and Wolverine and a lot of these other games. But honestly, the thing that kind of got me itching the most was the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Oh no!
Because
you stole from me. No,
sorry. I tried to play the original a couple years ago, and it was just I liked it, but it was like a little bit too dated and clunky for me. And it's sad because I love those old BioWare games. Mass Effect is my favorite video game trilogy of all time. Favorite sci-fi franchise of all time. And so I know that Knights of the Old Republic is amazing. I just haven't I couldn't make my way through. A modern remake, not a remaster, but a modern remake has the potential to be friggin' incredible. I also like that a modern remake hopefully means that this story is now canon again in the Star Wars universe.
It will. Definitely. That's what Disney's been doing. Is anything new is canon.
Yeah. So I don't want to get too hyped because that's how you just kill yourself with expectations. But I am really excited about the prospect of a potential remake of this classic game. Sorry, Marcel.
I need to play this so badly. I need to play that so badly.
Have you played through the original?
I did play a little bit of the original when it came out, but I was too busy at that time. I couldn't keep it on that. But now there's a remake, and you look to the graphics, and you look to this. It's Star Wars. I'm screwed, though. I'm screwed. No matter what, any game Star Wars, I'm screwed.
I mean, and the cool thing about Knights of the Old Republic is it adds so much to the Star Wars lore that at the time, I think they hadn't really explored that era a ton. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's going to be good.
So
but also Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Just my little remark on KOTOR is I've never played the games. I've seen my friend play some of it. And I'm a pretty big Star Wars buff. Like I've read a lot of the books. Like I love the Thrawn trilogy. I've seen Rebels, Clone Wars. Like, I consume the content.
Yeah, same.
And I just don't do well with playing older games. So this has been my most asked for remake of any remake they could possibly do because I really want to play through that story. So I'm super pumped. But yeah, Spider-Man, Miles Morales coming together. That's everyone knew this was going to happen. You know, if you haven't played the games, sorry, you've been spoiled. But Miles and Spider-Man are both alive in this timeline. That's not always true in the various Spider-Man worlds.
Well, it is now.
Okay, well,
it wasn't originally, but they merged the timelines. They're alive together everywhere now.
Okay, well, that's good. But it's cool. It's cool having the dynamic of Peter Parker and Miles Morales, you know, being buddies, and you know, obviously
it's gonna be good.
We
Craven, I guess everyone I've talked to about this didn't know who the voiceover was, the villain voiceover. I think it's Craven the Hunter, which is an interesting choice for a villain. But then with the Venom reveal at the end, I was like, there we go. I was like, there's no way they're just making Craven the main villain of this story, right?
I mean, if you didn't play Spider-Man 1 and you know anything about Spider-Man, it's a game where they did a brilliant job of kind of building a narrative around a lot of different villains. So Doc Ock was really a good guy for a while, and obviously Green Goblin, they're building up on that storyline. But
Mr. Negative,
you got Rhino, you got Mr. Negative's whole storyline, but he was kind of the main villain for a big portion of the story. Kingpin was the initial villain, but he was really kind of in the background. So they really had, you know, tons of different characters, you know, relevant, but the world has transitioned a lot into a different generation at this point. So a lot of the technology has changed, and the enemies have much higher technology, and so they're a little bit more difficult to deal with. And they're tools that are designed to fight against Spider-Man, and we're going to be seeing that trend continue from Miles. I'm sure some of these other groups will still be around, or maybe not. But we'll also have like the dynamic of now symbiotes coming in, and is there going to be symbiote technology on random enemies, right? And if they're showing us Venom and they're teasing Craven's voice, I mean, I'm sure they're going to weave in other narratives in there. So will Carnage be in this version? Will Carnage be in the next version? Who knows?
They'll do Carnage in the one after this if Venom is successful.
You say that, but I actually don't know. I don't know. Like you
never know.
They really could do a lot. So.
Why waste all of your great villains in one game, right? Like there are obviously Spider-Man has a great
here's why.
Don't throw all your A-listers in at once.
Now here's why you do that. You let us play as Venom. You make Venom the other character. You make Venom good. So you want to make your
Spider-Man?
I don't think so. That way the PS
I think it's from the 360 days. And you could play as Venom in it. It was a good game.
But that's what the fans want more than anything, right? So we already get to play as Spider-Man and Miles. We've already done that. We've already had full games dedicated to that, and it's great. And I want more of it. But if you're really trying to get me hyped up, you let me play as Venom as part of the game. And
you could also go back to the Super Nintendo and play Separation Anxiety.
The mega throwback. Marcel's bouncing. He's so excited about this.
No, it's guys. I remember the first Spider-Man game that ever been, and I played that. You know, and I remember like the big buzz was Spider-Man on Super Nintendo. You know, how big was that thing?
Actually, technically, I believe there was one on the Atari 2600 before that.
Just real quick, was there an X-Men game where you could play as Spider-Man in the X-Men game on the SNES? I think there was.
I believe you're thinking about the arcade game, maybe.
I think
the
there was
arcade
also an
gaming,
SNES,
Marvel against
just the side scroll. I think it was called X-Men.
No, there's another one.
It was like a beat 'em up.
There was Marvel vs. Capcom, which was a fighting game, but there was an X-Men arcade. I believe it was an X-Men arcade cabinet.
It was like a beat 'em up, like a side scroll beat 'em up.
It had a few other Marvel characters in it besides the X-Men. It had Spider-Man. I think it might have had Captain America or something like that as well.
That sounds right. Maybe Hulk even. He might have. Yeah, they might have had all three. That was a fun game.
It was trying to I think just benefit off the X-Men name at the time, because I think the X-Men
is it was definitely the widest, broadest number of heroes in one universe, so just call it X-Men. And
also that no one knew who the Avengers were at the time.
I'm gonna close the entries to this raffle actually, and we're gonna pick our winner. Fun Kevin XD, please confirm that you are here. Fun Kevin XD, congrats, you've won a $20 voucher to gamesplanet.com. He always says thanks. Perfect. All right, we'll send you a message after the stream, Kevin. Thanks for being fun.
two more pieces of news that I feel like we need to get through quickly so we could talk about this phone.
Yeah.
But they're kind of big things. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Again, the PS5. Speaking of the PS5, there was that kind of news that broke about the PS5. They changed the heatsink. There was a slightly new model revision of the PS5 that had a smaller heatsink, and a lot of people were worried that it was going to run really hot or suffer in performance or be really noisy. The folks at Gamers Nexus just did a big teardown, massive amount of testing on both models of the PS5. Really interesting video if you like taking things apart to see how they work. The kind of conclusion, I don't want to like distill the whole video down to one thing. Steve would probably come over to my house and punch me if I did that. But spoiler alert, don't feel like you need to go out on eBay and find an old model PS5. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
There are some minor differences in temperatures and whatnot, but performance and fan speed seems to be about the same for now. So there are some minor differences, but it's not a huge game changer. The bigger console news, I think today, one that makes me very mad, is the Nintendo Switch finally has Bluetooth audio support.
Why does this make you mad? Because it wasn't there to begin with?
Because it's been years that we have been clamoring. I'm not even own a Switch. It just makes me mad in principle that Nintendo was like, oh yeah, we don't have Bluetooth audio. Sorry, it's only for, and it was a software update. They did it with a software update.
Of course it was a software update. That's how Nintendo does, because they didn't have their own product that they were selling. So therefore they didn't want to enable other people to do it. Now I have to ask, did they release Bluetooth headphones with this update?
I don't think so.
No.
That surprises me.
No, they don't.
Because that's the Nintendo way. The Nintendo way is very Apple. It's like, we're going to make our own hardware and you have to buy it. And if you want to make hardware for a console, you need to get licensed for it. So no matter what, we're making money.
I disagree. I think Nintendo is even worse.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I thought you were going to like try to protect Nintendo in that regard.
All that said, though.
No. I will never protect Nintendo. I have a problem with them, love and hate.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I told you, like, every year they make me buy the same game again. They just change the skin, which is Mario.
Mm-hmm. I do have a small defense of Nintendo in that Bluetooth audio does have delay. Typically, unless if Nintendo did make their own Bluetooth headphones that, much like the AirPods or the Samsung Galaxy Buds, could eliminate that delay through better communication with the device, that would actually be one thing that might be worth buying for Switch owners. I'm interested to see how regular Bluetooth headphones handle the audio delay on the Switch. And to me, that was the only like legitimate reason they could have had. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it would frustrate me enough that I would, if I had a Switch, I would still want the support. Knowing that when I use them, there would be a delay. Most people probably don't realize that, but most people also probably don't care.
Oh, I care.
You know, we can figure out really easily. What is the Bluetooth Nintendo Switch is using? What is the Bluetooth version?
I don't know if they said.
Fair point. I don't actually know.
Yeah,
but
it's hard. It's hard to get this kind of specs for Nintendo. It's not easy.
The delay in Bluetooth audio is also dependent on your earbuds, though. So if Nintendo, this is very, again, much like Apple, if Nintendo can't control the user experience and say that every user will have a lag-free experience with their Bluetooth, then they won't release it. That's the kind of company that they tend to be. So I'm actually a little surprised that they did this. But anyway, it's I understand, like, but I'm
the
also
OLED model
kind of years ago. The OLED model is not out yet.
Yeah, but the OLED model seems to be Bluetooth 4.1.
Okay. Smarties in the chat, 4.1 is what the controllers use.
Yeah, so
it's a little dated now. I don't know if
that's
was
not the most appropriate.
Available when the Switch came out, though.
Sorry,
I don't know if we can fault the Switch for not using Bluetooth 5.0. Was that out when the Switch was released?
Yes.
Years.
It was straight. It was available. It's all available. But the point is, I think they didn't design for that from the beginning.
They also always use the last generation's technology for cost. That's what they always do. That's the Nintendo way.
I totally agree. Like when the Switch came out, I was talking to some friends. They say, okay, if I launch a new smartphone with the same screen resolution, same size, plastic, all plastic, no glass, you know,
right.
And this spec, would you buy it? No. So why people are buying Nintendo, right? And the answer, all the IPs, all the things you can play only on Nintendo hardware. That's why. So if they can make the same experience you got on Wii U just a little bit better, they will make it to guarantee a good price and good profit.
Right. I mean, Nintendo fans are their own breed. Just like Blizzard fans are their own breed. There's all different kinds of fans in the world, and they're just kind of stuck in their ways and they do their thing. So
there are a lot of people in chat who I don't think understand why some of us are frustrated by the lack of Bluetooth audio support. It's because we now live in an era, thanks to Apple, where a lot of phones and other devices do not have headphone jacks.
Don't ever say things to Apple ever again on this stream.
Are forced to carry around Bluetooth earbuds instead of normal earbuds. But if I have a Switch and a phone, I don't want to have to carry around 2 sets of earbuds. I want one pair of earbuds that will work with all of my devices. And Nintendo was kind of making that impossible. But you know what phone does have a headphone jack?
The ROG Phone 5S. But I'm going to be a jerk.
And Bluetooth.
I'm going to be a jerk. And before we get to it, I just did want to talk about one more trailer because my favorite comic book character of all time. I know you did. I know you did. And I'm taking it away from you. Wolverine is getting his own game by Insomniac. And this is by far my favorite comic book series. Hands down.
Really?
And I love Wolverine. I met my wife cosplayed as Wolverine at an anime convention. I'm a nerd. I had the full mutton chops. I mean, cigar in the mouth.
None of us knew you were a nerd, Jake.
Never would have guessed it.
Not like you stream video games for a living or anything.
But the developers confirmed that this game is going to have a very mature and dark vibe. So I'm just imagining, a really depressing, like grim, like who am I kind of story where kind of like Wolverine's origin stories. He really doesn't remember anything about who he is. He just kind of ripped his way out of a lab where he had just had his adamantite exoskeleton put on him, and he's pissed and people are trying to kill him and he doesn't know why. And it's going to be, I don't know. I also love the movie Logan. I think that's a great film. So
Logan is marvelous. It's a piece of art.
It is. So I'm pumped. 2023, I think, is when we're getting that. So,
but what did you think of X-Men Origins Wolverine, Jake? All right, let's talk about the ROG Phone 5.
Do you want to open this can?
I don't, but maybe one day. Is the giveaway? We've got to start the giveaway timer.
You're right. I'll put 15 minutes. Wow, we've gone for 45 minutes just rambling. You guys,
I know. Well, there was a lot of game news this week. We had to cover last week's game news and this week's game news.
We're just having too much fun, just shooting the shit, for lack of better
stuff.
Cool.
I don't know how we have to keep this show family friendly. We're gonna be on iTunes soon.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, ROG Phone 5S. Marcel, you
give us the skinny.
You can't unbox it because there's no way you've kept it in this box this long. There's no way.
Just a very quick recap. That's the ROG Phone 1, the first one.
Of course, you have every ROG phone in front of you.
You know where I'm coming from, where I'm coming to. That's the number 2. That's actually set the path for the following ROG phones.
Design and
size-wise, everything else, battery size, everything.
Yeah.
That's the ROG Phone 3. In my opinion, we did a big mistake in this product. We removed the headphone jack bar.
All the other kids were doing it.
Yeah, so then we have to remove, but there's also some other concerns like 5G and how we distribute antennas. In the beginning was a really messy thing for the manufacturers. But then on ROG Phone 5,
we skipped 4, by the way.
We made it.
Brought it back.
Right?
And which is more than we can say for a lot of manufacturers.
Yeah. Number 4. You are missing number 4. Well, right? Number 4,
unlucky.
There's a problem. Yeah, no.
It means death or something?
Unlucky is 13, yeah. Unlucky is 13, but for the Asia culture, number 4, the sound of number 4, when you say number 4, is the same sound of the word death.
Yeah.
So you don't want a product to sound like death. right?
So,
Yeah, bad omen, bad juju.
ROG Phone 4 lives in the same place that Windows 9 does.
Yeah,
somehow,
just-
somehow. And now the new kids on the block with this gorgeous box.
Wow, this one
amazing.
looks like a box.
octagonal.
That's a Pro.
Is it hex
That's
or
the
oct?
Pro version, and that's the 5S with the 888 Plus. And I had my 5 minutes of Nintendo 64 opening. But it's amazing, the box, like,
That is a cool box.
there's anime, you can use like the AR augmented reality to see everything from the phone when you're setting up, and everything that comes with the box of the Pro. It comes with the cooler. There's brand new here. I didn't unpack it yet. It just arrived.
Oh, neat.
And that's
Thank
the
you, say.
5S Pro, guys, right here.
Follow
Brand
the
new.
5S Pro. Can I just say, I am not just saying this because I work for ASUS. I think we have some of the best boxes in the industry.
Oh yeah.
We have really cool boxes.
Oh, yeah.
It's
The laptop
something.
boxes where it like lifts
It
it,
lifts
up,
up,
and you open
dude.
it. It's so cool.
When I first got hired and I opened up like some of the products, I was like, we do this for everything. I was like, this is so
Yeah.
cool.
It's one of those things that seems like so silly because it's like a 5-second experience before you throw the
But it
box
does.
away.
It
But
feels like you've.
so cool.
I've purchased quality, right?
Yeah. I felt the same way when I was opening like the Series X versus the PS5. I was like, well, this is an unboxing experience.
Correct.
Nothing
Correct.
quite like the Alan Walker laptop where you unbox it and now your box is a DJ machine.
I've been
But
playing video
sorry.
games with that box as a controller.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, people get crazy about that. I was thinking to do something like that as well. Well, but regarding the boxes, I think this is a full journey of after you buy the product, then you're gonna, start this journey with this product. And the beginning is like amazing, right? This kind of the doors open.
Exactly.
The golden light come from
it is your first impression with the product. Like when
Yes.
it's like,
Yes.
if you open a product packaging and it seems cheap, like honestly, I consider that as part of my like review as to like how much do I like this, right? If they send me that something that's just, I don't know.
I try not to think about it, but it does influence you.
It does.
And there's another side of this. There are a lot of premium products where the box feels very premium, but it does that air vacuum thing where you can't actually get the product out of the box because it's like stuck shut and you have to like shake it so the lid comes off. I hate that too.
Yeah.
And here's the boy
Yeah, okay.
being unpacked here for the
nice.
first time. That's the 5S. Still have stickers. Brand new. With the amazing Snapdragon 888 Plus, boys. This is a huge advancing on the processor
You should have
itself.
done a big Marcel window, Jake, so we could
know.
really see it. Didn't think this through.
I think I need to put a cable. Yes, it's turning on. It's turning on.
I actually
It's
didn't.
in the back.
Wow. Let me.
That is really cool. Oh man! Oh, so it's like got this gradient on it. It's like lights up. The logo has a light up gradient.
Actually, it's a screen.
Oh, it's a screen.
It's a screen on the Pro version. The Pro version
Okay.
different from the normal version. You have the 5S and you have the 5S Pro. The main differences are what comes in the box, and you have 2 additional supersonic
triggers.
buttons down here. So you have air triggers here and you have air triggers here as well.
Okay.
That's a
And
super,
this
super
back-
cool piece of tech.
What does the screen
It's
do?
super cool. Well, this screen, you can set up this screen for a lot of stuff. For instance,
Branding.
while it's charging, let me see if it's going to show here while it's
Oh,
charging.
nice. You can put your phone face down. You don't have to look at the screen, but you still see
Because
like, the...
you're not show, yeah, correct. But it's not show here now because I'm in the setup screen. It will take a while if I do it. It's brand new, but it's pretty much like this. If you can set up like, I'm charging, show me the charging values. So you show charging values here,
Right.
89%, 90%, whatever you want. Are you playing a game? You can select for each game what kind of animation you want here in the back. So that's another point that is
That's
super cool.
what I think
kind
is
of like the
coolest.
Anime Matrix on the Zephyr.
Yeah,
What-
exactly.
what is the
exactly.
name for it? It has
you
its
have
own
a
name.
call- The name is Vision. ROG
Yeah,
Vision
RG
is
Vision.
the
Yeah.
it's called Vision, yeah. And it's pretty cool. You have this on the Pro version. The Pro version has 2 additional buttons, and the Aeroactive cooler, which is the cooler for it, comes in the box, which is
Oh, nice.
really, really cool. This is really, really cool because now I have 2 extra buttons here. Have you seen that?
Are they physical buttons or
Triggers,
or
yeah.
touch buttons?
Yes.
Triggers, like real
Analog,
triggers.
physical.
Wow.
Yeah, so imagine like now if I do something like this, which is the idea, very much, my darling. Now I have on the Pro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons on my fingers.
Yep.
4 touch and 2 physical. That's
Crazy,
awesome.
right?
It adds ergonomics to the device, and it also adds cooling.
Yeah.
So there's the benefit of it's going to run cooler.
Yeah.
So
And it
I have a
doesn't, and it
question.
gives you an extra headphone jack. So now it's the first phone with
Oh.
2 headphone jacks.
What
If you're
is
missing
the,
one, we have 2.
what is the like aspect ratio on that phone? These phones look like they're maybe a little bit longer than your typical phone.
No, actually, it's not like for sure. We are in the 21 by 9. You can mention
It's
what is
21 by
different.
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you look like you see there is some borders here, right?
Yeah.
Actually, here you can see better the border because you have animation in the
It's a
background.
very small border.
This border, there is a purpose. You have 2 front fire speakers, and while you are playing, right here, this part of your hand, sometimes it puts like rests on that area and gives you, like mistouching. So you don't want this mistouching, and you want the speakers to be really directed to you. So you have the full feeling of the stereo and coming to you from each side of your ear. So having those borders here, you can have better speakers and a better place to rest your hand. So this part will not mistouch by mistake that easily.
Okay.
So there's a purpose, even for the
They thought
borders
of
on the sides.
everything.
Yeah, there's a purpose for that.
Marcel,
It's amazing. I love this product.
can you show us the kickstand on the back of the cooler?
No, I cannot.
Really?
For sure I can. Come on.
I thought maybe he was saying there
I know.
wasn't a
I was
kickstand.
going to say that.
Okay,
There is.
Yeah.
It's integrated. There is a nice artwork on that. So
you can like
you can
watch
put like
movies on it.
Correct.
Yeah,
or you
if you're
could
on an
put it down
airplane
and
or
use a
whatever.
ThinkPad if you wanted to.
correct. It's like it's funny because your first thought may be you should not keep this in your pocket, right?
Mhm.
That's your first thought. But for sure you should keep this in your backpack.
Yes.
Because it's small, it's
Yeah.
light, and you can take everywhere. And to be honest, I see myself in my experience with all the ROG phones, in all different kinds of fans we have in the past. I use less at home with the fan than while I'm traveling, which is
Really?
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's hard to say. I don't know if it's my experience only or it's general experience for everyone. When I'm at home, since I'm a very controlled environment, so
I get
I
that.
don't feel the need to put it. But while I'm moving, if I'm like in an airplane or a trip, whatever, I take this with me and then I use it a lot. If in the airplane for sure, because the quick stand helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
One thing I will
and
tell you though, I went on a flight like a month ago, and there was a rack on the back of the chair in front of me for storing my phone. It had a
Correct.
charger right there. I was like, we made it. We're finally at a point where
yeah,
they're designing stuff around technology. Thank you.
correct. Like it's pretty much like this, but like this guy somehow it makes me a lot of happy, like having the chance to charge from here and put like your
Oh, you can charge it on the
especially-
side.
yeah
Yeah, there's two
yes, correct,
chargers.
because
yeah.
you have like a charger here and a charger here. That's why you can do like this and charge from here,
That's such a
and
the charge port on my phone is so beat up because it's always at an angle. If I'm like charging and gaming,
yes,
with my phone sideways, which is something I've done frequently, like late at night in bed, I'm just kind of jamming Hearthstone or something. My charge port is so screwed up because of that.
See, for me, it's not the charge port; it's the headphone jack on the side. Gets in the way of where my hands want to be. So with that cooler, you have the headphone jack on the bottom, and that's
correct.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
you go. So that's the
Yeah.
headphone jack
Yeah,
There you
in the
go.
bottom. So when you put it like this. So then you have the hole
Opening
for the charger,
port.
and you have an extra headphone jack
no, that's sweet.
connector.
Very, very,
Pretty much
very
like
cool.
this.
Okay, so what are you playing on it, Marcel? Well, I guess you haven't played anything on this yet. What's the first game you're going to play on it?
I always play COD Mobile.
That's
Call of
your,
Duty
that's your
Mobile.
jam.
That's
and honestly,
the one I
that's
love.
this phone that is designed to be awesome for that. And
Yeah.
what I really want one because Pokemon Unite's coming out on mobile soon, and I want to see what that's like to play with the triggers and stuff, because I actually don't like the gaming experience on the Switch. I think it's clunky. I think it's okay with the Pro controller, but I think it'll be really good on mobile. And I think on the ROG Phone 5 with the buttons on the back plus the touch for your thumb would be like truthfully probably the best experience for that game. Like, not even like trying to be biased because this is our product, but I actually think as a gamer that would be the preferred experience for me.
Most phones are made for one thing first, and gaming is like 6-7 things down on the list of things that it's truly designed for.
Right.
This is a phone that is designed with gaming as one of its top priorities.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm crazy to start Genshin Impact because I heard so much about the game. It's so heavy, and this is the kind
Gavin
of
Vengeance in the chat was just saying that. Want one for Genshin on the go. That seems like the perfect kind of game for this. That's probably what I would.
But when people say, hey, I'd like to see how it's going to be or how would be a Switch Pro, and you look for the specs of this phone, you think that's the Switch Pro. You just don't have Mario and Zelda, but that's the Switch Pro. If you think through, is the processor you want, is the memory you want, it's the storage you want.
It's got the power there for sure.
Yeah. So, and we are not that far because we have the kunais, right?
And well, the kunais make all the difference.
Yeah.
Like
I love those. Oh my gosh.
Come to me, boy.
And I think we talked about this in our mobile gaming episode, but I had a
we
device
did, but
similar to this.
it's so cool.
And this is that's how I played.
It looks like a case, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you have, it looks like a case. You can walk like the case, and they have like the rubbers. You can put it here if you want. But then you do just like, do you have the Switch click? Because it's pretty much like the Switch system. It's very similar in that sense. So very simple. And the thing is, now they are connected by hardware. They're hardware connect, not wireless.
Bluetooth. Yep.
So you have 100% analog controls that are connected straight inside.
Big gorgeous display,
correct. And
killer.
It's very anatomic, and there you have buttons here, 2 buttons here.
Just the side by side. I mean, obviously we're not in the same place, but your phone looks bigger than this. I think it is.
No, it's not that bigger. It's I
think it looks more portable, but the screen might be similar because you don't have as big of bezels.
Yeah,
it's definitely because you look like this, right? So imagine this is like the Joy-Cons. You are right. This is like the Joy-Cons. Joy-Con is a little bit more slim because this one has already the ergonomics profile.
Which I find this to be incredibly uncomfortable to hold, which is why I bought a Pro controller, because I was just I can't do it. Same thing here.
So I love this, and you know why? I love this not only because you can do like this, but you can make a transformer. There you go.
So then the question is that a Decepticon or an Autobot?
Autobot, come on.
Tell by looking at it.
It looks like a Decepticon to me.
An Autobot. No, don't do that with me. You're gonna break my heart.
Okay. Look.
I know it looks like a Decepticon. It looks like it's gonna fly somewhere. Look at the escape
key on my keyboard.
All right.
Oh
man.
Getting the keyword.
Pulse. The other cool thing about this is obviously mobile gaming has come a long way in recent years. So you can play games like Genshin Impact and COD Mobile on this, which is awesome. But the big thing for me, and how I have played multiple PC games on my phone and tablet using a device just like this, because you can stream from your PC to your phone at home, or you can stream with xCloud or stuff like that. And you can play PC quality games on your phone with this little mobile controller, and that to me is totally priceless. I would use that much more than I would personally probably use a Switch. I know I'm probably going to anger a lot of people saying that, but it's just the kind of game with the kind of games you play are different, and this would be my preferred mobile gaming device.
It's easy to get in that conclusion. Believe me, it's easy. The only thing that I can say is different, being like a Nintendo lover like I am, a really fanboy for Nintendo, it's because Mario and Zelda is not here. Otherwise, I would have no reason to go to Nintendo Switch.
I don't play Zelda, I just play Mario, so...
so
you're
you're
messing
half
up.
away.
You're messing up.
I know. I'm sorry. You know what? I think it's because I have not played any Zelda games besides Ocarina of Time, and I know that's like supposed to be the greatest game of all time. I can't get into it. I've tried multiple times. I always quit at the Fire Temple.
Did you?
Not because it's hard. I'm just like,
Did you
not into it.
play when it first came out?
Played it when it first came out, and I tried to play it again a couple years ago as well, and one time in between there. Because I would like to try like A Link to the Past or one of those kinds of games to see if I enjoy it more. Or Breath of the Wild, obviously.
I have said this always. I think Zelda is one of the most overrated franchises in the world, but I do think that there are some incredible games within there. Like I do think Ocarina of Time, for its time, was a masterpiece. Like I really think it was. And
for the time,
objectively, I would agree.
To me, Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild is like a 9 out of 10 for me. The reason it's not a 10 is the hardware limitations. So there's so few people and characters and like creatures in the world overall, it ends up feeling fairly vacant and fairly predictable as to like what's going to be there.
Runs at 30 frames per second.
And it runs at 30 FPS, and it even lags if you try to play in 1080p. And those are the things that take away the 10. But the game is very good, and like just the sense of like exploration and discovery and the world itself and the music and the ambiance. That is one of my favorite games to play on a flight. I mean, Marcel obviously loves Breath of the Wild very much.
But I know your comment and makes sense. But you know, they have these Rivalry Warriors, which is a game supervised by Nintendo and the guys who made
it's like Dynasty Warriors, Dynasty Warriors, but Hyrule Warriors.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they try to mix it up the stories and create like a branch for the story, but there you have like thousands of enemies on the Nintendo Switch. They figured out a way to do it. But if you look there and then you look the Breath of the Wild as it is, sometimes I have the feeling the Breath of the Wild has few characters on the map by purpose, not only because hardware restrictions, because there's the storyline. It shows in that way that, okay, the evil ones and nobody can beat the evil, so they don't need like thousands and thousands and thousands. All the thousands die on the war they have, and you can see that on the Hyrule Warriors somehow.
So you tell me it's the apocalypse after Ganondorf.
Actually,
okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
correct.
It does make sense.
Breath of the Wild is like when everything is lost.
It's dark, yeah. It's like Link has been asleep, he's been woken up, he's now trying to reclaim the lands for the people.
Correct.
That is the plot of the game, so that does make sense. But we
still got
to talk about the ROG Phone 5S hardware being badass as to like what it can do, and then we see this new Pokemon game coming out. Looks like butts. I mean, it does not look good. I mean, it is just the graphics, not good.
Well, man, I'm pretty sure here it will be an amazing experience, right?
Marcel,
especially because we have 144 hertz screen, and I hope a game like Pokemon can take advantage of that, because you know some publishers they limit to 90. Some are putting 120, but one good thing about it is inside the Armory crate here you have a list of games compatible with the screen rate. So
nice.
yes, you can list it. What are the games with 120 hertz ready, 144 ready, 90 hertz ready, and you can see on the list which one is compatible.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so
it's cool.
Another thing that we haven't talked about at all, and one thing that I always want to know is what are we doing to enable the users to not only have a strong battery life, but have a battery that is going to last a long time and charge quickly and all of the above. And I think our phone has done something really cool. There's 2 batteries.
Correct. 2 batteries. And there's several things about these batteries. First one, we have the 65 watt, but it's the way we build it, the way it's engineering, our engineers do that, it's really cool. Because you have 2 batteries, so now you can charge both at 30 something watt. So that's how you make 65 watt without compromise the battery performance or the battery longevity. So it will last longer for sure. Another point is these batteries, they start charging not from the top, because batteries usually you have like one tip on the top that connects to the power cable inside the phone. But those tips, they are in the middle. And because they are in the middle, they are positioned that way by a purpose, to charge from the middle of the battery up.
In and out. Yep. It's
correct.
More balanced overall.
Correct. So that is a better distribution of not only power usage,
But
also it's a better,
the wear and
better
tear.
distribution of how you manage the thermals inside the product.
Oh, that's true too. I didn't think about that part. And there's some cool stuff. Just like a few little things that I want to point out is one thing that we do with this phone is there's the ability to do scheduled charging. So if you're someone that goes to bed at night and that's when you charge your phone, and if you leave your phone plugged in all night, it's actually not great for your phone to just fast charge up, to that 50% and then just stay maxed out. If you do a scheduled charge and you typically wake up at 7 a.m., you can plug your phone in and say, please hit 100% at 7 a.m. So it'll charge super slow, which is much better for the battery. And then 7 a.m., you've got 100% battery life and you're ready to rock and roll.
Correct. And also you can limit because it's a monster battery product, like 6,000 milliampere hours, like unbeatable in the market.
Yeah.
And you can limit. You can say, 6,000 is a lot. Maybe I just need to use 90% of the battery. I don't need to be 100% of the time. And you can expand the lifespan of the product a lot. The battery lifespan will be expanded if you do that, just by reducing 10%.
Just better, yeah. You're protecting you're taking better care of your product essentially.
But
beating
the best, all of those things are cool. But the best, in my opinion, it's one feature.
What's that?
Call it bypass charging.
I actually don't know what that is.
Bypass charging, that's the best one. So when we are playing, we have a problem, right? You are always connected. And what all the phones does? Well, games are really process intense. So that means they also are really battery hungry, right?
Yeah.
So the battery is always discharging to provide all the power that the processor needs, the GPU needs. So what happens at the same time, you have a processor, a SoC with the GPU inside that gets really hot while you're playing, but also the batteries are getting hot because they are discharging too fast, or you keep plugged. So you are charging the batteries while you are discharging then. So this is increasing the amount of heat you have inside the product. But if you turn on bypass charging, it stops charging the batteries and provide the power straight to the motherboard, straight to the system, without keeping using the batteries all the time while you are playing intense games. So it's less heat and it's more lifespan to your battery.
I need one of these phones right now. For those long gaming sessions, I'm just literally destroying the batteries of my phones. When I'm plugged in, if I'm sick or just having a bad day and I want to lay in bed and play games on my phone, which has happened for many, many hours, and then the neck discomfort is real, but you're really not helping your battery. The longevity of your battery. There was a question if this is the same battery as the ROG Phone 5. I believe it is.
On capacity, yes.
But the technology is similar too, because the 5 has the double battery as well.
If we are talking about the difference between 5 and 5S, you have to think about number one, it's the processor itself. From 888 to 888 plus, which is a big advance in terms of extra performance. You're gonna feel it. Second one is the touch sampling rate. How fast the screen can recognize your finger moving on the screen. So the 5 has 300 hertz, this one has 360 hertz. Those are the main differences we have from the 5 to 5S. Seems a little, but actually means a lot because it talks on game performance, which is the most important topic for a smartphone gaming device like this one.
Absolutely. Great. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of like what we're already 10 minutes over our normal maximum time that we try to do here for Pulse because there's just a lot to talk about this week. But I mean, obviously you can check the phone out. Just search for ROG Phone 5S. It really is a badass device with a lot to find desirable, especially if you do game actively on your phone and you have any other phone that isn't this phone, which frankly I've been in that boat for many years. It's like, damn, the double USB Type-C, one on the side, one in the back, an actual powerful set of attachments you can equip to the phone, battery that's designed to be used as a gamer where you're plugged in. No one else designs a battery for that purpose, to be plugged in and using your phone, because who's using their phone that way? Gamers, and only gamers actively, right? Or someone on an airplane, which is going to be a far and few situation, right?
And I have to finish one thing very important.
Of course.
This bad boy here has 18 gigabytes of RAM.
That's more than many laptops.
I know. I was gonna say.
God.
It's like
I can't resist, guys. I gotta leak it.
Oh,
This is 18 gigabytes of RAM on this device. Can you imagine?
that's nuts. That's nuts. I'm jealous. I'm happy for you though. That's you're gonna have a lot of fun with that phone.
Oh yeah, you can bet.
Guys, we've had the keyword on the screen for a while, so we do need to draw our winner. I know, I didn't forget. It's just we're having a good time. Closing the entries now. We're gonna pick a winner, and it's Codigo_J, KODIGO_J. Please confirm that you are still with us here on the chat so that we can lock you in as our second winner of the day. And we're gonna draw one more after this. Once we have the confirmation, we do 3 giveaways on Pulse. Same keyword. We're not going to close it, but we're going to give Codigo maybe 30 seconds. No. 29, 28, 27. Whitson, you jelly of that phone? You want to get your hands on one now. I can tell.
am super jelly of that phone. I've got a lot of things spinning in my head right now. Is it up for sale yet? Or
I guess it's for sale already. I guess it's for sale already.
All right. I couldn't find a buy link for us, but we'll add one to the description of the.
I couldn't find one either.
One important information is this one is not supposed to be in the market running together with the 5. This one will replace all the 5s we have. So it's a refresh, it's a replacement.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out of time. Picking a new winner.
Oof.
Daniel 1105 Mousley. Daniel, please confirm that you're here if you would like to claim your $20 Games Planet voucher.
Oh, here's the 5S. They have them at retailers. We just don't have them in
the eShop.
Our store. Yeah. So
eShop.
you can grab them at places like Newegg and whatnot.
Man, I goofed by leaving this giveaway up for so long. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gone." You got to stick around if you want your free stuff, guys. Daniel 1105.
If you're just coming in to type in the chat and then bounce,
you get no swag.
Giveaway's not for you.
No swag. Daniel in 5, 4. This has never happened. 3,
I know.
2, 1. We've never passed over a winner, but we've not had 2. Zampat. ZAMPAT. Zampat.
You at Zampat?
Where you at? Are you here? Are you friend? Do you want free stuff? Oh,
there we go.
Yeah. All right, we gotta get one more though. So Zampat, we're gonna add you to our list. Let me just do that really quick before we pull our last winner of the day. And picking another winner, Micah Gee. Micah, you're our lucky man. You've won a few codes over the months since we've been doing giveaways.
Yeah, this guy could take that code and probably afford Deathloop.
He probably could. I think he's probably won 3 keys.
Hint, guys.
If he's here, Micah, you're still around. You got to claim it. You got to prove to us that you're worthy. 15 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Where is everybody? We have more viewers than we've had for the rest of the show, but all the people who entered have left. Why, guys?
I get it. Sometimes a lot of people watch at work and they're like half watching, half not.
Fair
6,
point.
5,
I forget what it's like to not work from
4,
home.
3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going.
Oh, Daniel Mousley's appeared.
He's the timer's up. Timer's up. Dodoc D0DOK. Dodoc. Sorry, Daniel. Gotta be here. We gave you the longest window actually. But I'm waiting like 30 to 40 seconds with stream delays, making sure that people have time. But D0DOK. Hey. All right, those are our final 2 winners of today's streams. Congratulations to the winners. As we love doing our giveaways, and we might have some spicy giveaways coming up. We were just talking about some potential game keys coming up on the horizon. Some new. Speaking of games in general, I mean, we've got a lot dropping. Back for Blood is coming. We got New World coming out in 12 days. Back for Blood is about a month away. They just pushed back Battlefield, but Guardians of the Galaxy drops next month. There is a lot of games.
Streaming some good stuff.
Oof.
I don't know which of these. I don't know which of these will have keys to give away for.
Well, you know,
we'll always have Games Planet.
We're gonna try.
But I'm excited. It's gonna be some good streams coming up.
Yes, there will be.
We should tease this. We should tease this in a couple weeks. We'll be doing some later night streams, guys. Just some casual hangout streams, a little bit different than usual. It'll be a fun time. Maybe we'll tease that next week when we have everything locked down.
Yeah,
but
just
we got some stuff on the horizon.
ROG and chill, basically.
And chill.
That's the idea. Crack open a cold one. Of course, I mean a seltzer.
Unfriendly undertones.
It's gonna be a good time. Yeah, we're just trying to do some more fun stuff. You know, we're trying to incorporate also other regions as well, not only for viewers but also for people to come on. We have friends in the ROG world in Taiwan. We have friends in the UK. We have friends everywhere, and we'd like to work and collaborate and bring other people onto these shows globally because, well, it's a big world out there. A lot of different time zones.
Yes.
Okay, guys, this was a fun show. We went for almost an hour and 20 minutes because the news that was there was plentiful.
Too much to talk about.
It's good, and you know, honestly, things aren't going to slow down. I gotta start teasing this now because before you guys know it, we're gonna start having, you know, like little nuggets to dangle in front of you leading towards CES. You're like, don't say anything.
CES is coming. Just say that.
It is.
This is coming.
Yeah.
We're a tech company.
Yeah. And CES is where we make all of our biggest announcements every year. It's in January. So that's still like 4 months away, but that really isn't that much time, especially in
Will our biggest announcement be ROG socks? I don't know. You'll have to wait till CES to find out.
Well, you can't just say ROG socks. RGB socks is what you really mean.
RGB socks. That would be something.
Would you buy them?
I think it'd probably make my feet hot. My feet are already hot.
But you would run faster.
Only if they were red. If they were blue, then you'd run cooler.
There's any RGB socks?
Yeah. No, there is not. We're joking about the possibility. There isn't yet.
Well, if there's RGB light on it, it will run faster for sure.
Jake's got an RGB chair. Anything is possible.
I want an RGB face mask. Come on. I gotta look good in COVID apocalypse land. Guys, that is going to do it here for ROG Pulse, as we are just going to ramble forever unless I pull the plug right now. Congratulations to the winners. I will be sending you guys a message very soon. And beyond that, let's look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow because I'll be playing more Deathloop. Rocking my PC this time, seeing what kind of performance we can get. There's a lot of Steam reviews claiming that the game has some performance issues. I haven't had too much of a problem yet.
I'll say that.
Yeah. But
there are some quirks, as often with PC ports, but some of the complaints are way overblown.
Which is, not too unexpected.
I know. Yeah, it happens.
But guys, see you next time. GG's and take care.